Black Friday came and I said I wouldn't, and Fabfilter brought out an upgrade to Q2 and I did it. So today I've got 5 in 5. I'm going to rifle through this thing, and in 5 minutes I'm going to go through the 5 things that I think are most useful, at least to my workflow, maybe to yours too. Let's start the timer. Boop. So let's take a look at this Q3. I put it into a mix that I was just working on and substituted out the Q2 for the Q3. So number one, Brickwall Q factor for high pass and low pass is really useful. This is a new thing they have, Brickwall filter. So here you can select, normally it was 96 before, now you can do a Brickwall. It's really transparent. Here I've got it on a bass. I had it before at about 20 hertz. That's great. When I want something gone, I really want it gone. I think it's pretty transparent. Maybe I can hear a little bit of a resonance in there. I'm not sure, I gotta mess with it some more. I like that. That's the first new thing that we've got that I think is probably really useful. Number two, the new dynamic EQ feature is really smooth and transparent. You can turn the dynamics on and off right here. And this is an EQ that I had. This is a vocal, a rap, and I wanted to bring the edge of the vocal out a little bit. And sometimes I do this with a multiband compressor, but it's nice if I can just do it with this EQ. So in this instance, what I did was I gave it a bit more of a boost than what I was, and then I had the dynamic pushing it back down.
My back's to the wall for the cracks and the scars, on the phone to the floor and scream, but they ain't listening at all. Does anybody really care? They just masking us all. Just another diagnosis, they just jacking us on. A swipe for the...
I think that's a really useful feature. I like the dynamic EQ. With something like this, I want that frequency to pop out a little bit, but only when the vocal is lower intensity. When the vocal comes up in intensity, it starts to get a bit harsh. So I can have that dynamic EQ kind of push back down on it when it's getting more intense. It kind of evens out, it makes it smoother, and when the vocal's a little bit darker, you get that brighter tone in there, and when the vocal's a little bit more forceful, it pulls it back down a little bit. It's a really cool feature. I really like it. Number three, you can now specify left, right, mid, side, or stereo per EQ node or band instead of just the whole EQ itself. Previously, you could only have the EQ in regular stereo mode, or you could have it in mid-side mode. Now you can do it per band. Now say you want to EQ the left and the right differently, you can go down here, hit this scissor tool, and now you've got a left node and a right node, and you could actually EQ the left side. And the right side differently. So I do have instances, especially with synths, that are a little bit different side to side, especially vintage synths, and I would like to even them out, or it's another way to get separation. I know I'm going to find this really useful. Like that too. Number four, there's a little feature to show masking between two different signals. We'll have a quick look at that. I really like that feature. Could be a huge time saver. I've got a lead vocal side chained in, so I'm not going to play that for you right now, but the red display is the vocal, and then we've got the synth, and it does a little thing here. You see that red? That's where there's potential masking going on. I love a visual representation. Hey, if it speeds up my workflow, that's just awesome. 5, you could always sidechain in a signal so that you could have both on the spectrum analyzer. Now you can do it really quickly with anything else that's got a Q3 on it. Any instance of Q3 that's anywhere else in the mix is now automatically available. So there's the sidechain that I've got up here, but if I go down here, anything else, I've got this on a guitar, on the bass, on the mains. If I want to have that display rather, now there's the bass, and see there what frequencies might be masking each other. The last thing is this little thing here. So this shows potential resonant frequencies. These are the things that we usually like to take out that have a little bit of ringing in them. This points out some potentials. So don't just run in there and pull them down because you might ruin your sound. But speeding up workflow, I look at that and I go, oh, maybe there's a resonant frequency at 985. Maybe there's one at 3. Maybe there's one at 7.5. All really useful features. So that's 5 things that I've gotten out of this right away that I think when I'm mixing are going to speed up my flow. And Whether or not you're an experienced engineer or you're someone who's just sort of getting started, I think these are all tools that help you work faster, and the visual display is awesome. Their user interface is better than anything else, and even though they've added the dynamic stuff, it didn't really clutter up the display. Okay, I just want to show you just a couple more things that this is so cool, and I didn't realize at first. If you take your mouse and you drag across, like from the left side, you get a low shelf. From the right side, you get a shelf. You can circle all of them and run them all at the same time. Double click on the left, double click on the right. Awesome, right? Double click in the middle, you get a bell. Click here, click here, click here. Look at that. Hey, the best way to reach out to me is on Instagram at Steve_in_the_mix. If you got a question, DM me, reach out, leave it in the comments. If you think anything I'm saying is kind of cool, hit that subscribe button. See you next time.